Hey, Jeff here. Hey, wanted to talk to you today about the stories that we tell ourselves about our past and how if we put the right lens or the right frame on the story, we can dramatically impact our future. And one of the things I think about often is rocks. I like rocks. And you see this rock here, it's a rock that I believe was forged under pressure, in water or in mud, over a long period of time. This rock didn't always look like this. It's had a lot of pressure applied. It's gone through a tumbler. It's been polished, but it's had a lot of experience. And the experiences that you've had, put under the right conditions, treated in the right ways, can create an incredibly powerful tool for you in your life and your business going forward if we put the right frame around it, and if we see it in the right way. And so what I want to do now is I want to jump in and do a little teaching on this. So if we think about this here, and this is you here, right here, and you want to achieve something great in the future. You want the kind of life or to make the kind of impact that really you're here on this planet for, right? What we know is that's a journey and that takes some time. And we have to be as healthy as possible, right, to achieve our goals, generally speaking. And so what we also know, though, is that there is another circle here that I want us to look at here. And this here is what we would call your story. Let's just move that around a bit. And so the things that have gone on in your past. Now, let's use a tangible and practical example. From the ages of about 12 to 16, I experienced some pretty significant bullying, right? It wasn't fun. It wasn't nice. It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't pleasant. It was downright bad. In everybody's past, there are negative experiences, disappointments, abuses, failures, losses, really tough stuff. And how we choose to look at those experiences can truly transform our future. And so in the case of this, using an example, in case of bullying, right, I get to choose the frame I put on that. I can say things like this. Let me move myself around here. I can say things like this here. I can say people are mean, right? I can choose people are mean. They'll always take advantage of me. I don't know. What would you say? In your experiences, what's the negative frame? This is a negative frame that you get to choose to put on your particular experiences, things that you're not particularly proud of in your life. People take advantage of me. People are mean. I'm a loser. I don't know how to stand up for myself, right? Right? You get to choose how you view it. And that's one way of looking at what was a painful experience in the past, right? That's one way to say it. But the trouble is, if I see it just like this, if this is the lens I put on it, what happens is this bleeds over into who I am today. And it keeps me from going after my future here. It keeps me, instead of me going forward, what happens is I get stuck in the same place, or I even go backwards, right? And we don't want that, right? We don't want that. Now, there's always elements of truth, and there's always elements of toxicity or painful things that bleed into our current circumstances. We never absolve ourselves of the memory of them, right? But what if we could make this entire experience in our past, what if we had the power to turn it into something positive? What if we could turn it into something positive? And when I think about my situations and stories and tough stuff that I've been through, I get to choose, how do I view it? What do I see when I truly look back at me, right? And what do you see when you look back at the disappointing and tough experiences you had? And one of the things that we can start to think about is I don't make bullying a positive or pleasant experience, right? It's always going to be tough. It's always going to have a painful element. But what's the truth of that experience? What's a more positive frame? Well, they didn't break me, right? What's yours? You never gave up, right? I never gave up. I became stronger. I'm invincible. Even more pointedly, I grew, they didn't. Right? And so how you choose to look at your story can make a big difference. This negative story could be looked at as a negative, or it could be looked at as what were the positive changes that happened to me. And if I become unbreakable, if I'm someone who never gives up, if I'm someone who's always getting stronger, if I'm becoming increasingly invincible, if I'm always growing even when other people aren't, then the future stops being impossible and it starts to become possible. Does that make sense? It starts to become possible. And when I think of you and all the people that I know who might be watching this video or reading this blog, I know for a fact that you, my friend, have had tough situations happen in your life. But if you can choose to see yourself through a more compassionate, graceful, powerful lens, there you go, put both eyes there, right? If you can see yourself looking back that way, you will see that you are a beautiful rock that's been under a lot of pressure, and you are becoming more and more beautiful every single day. And what is impossible for others is possible for you because of the experiences you've had. I hope this is helpful. I hope you can see that the stories we tell ourselves about our past can greatly impact the future. And it's just one part of our model for the more message me under this video. You're incredible. Keep being incredible. Cannot wait to hear more of your story from the past and also for the future.